When cameras caught Kate Middleton leaving the hospital, even the doctors accompanying her were looking on in amazement. Because after completing her final treatment, Kate began walking in a completely unexpected direction instead of heading to her car. This move set the journalists and security personnel who had been waiting silently into motion. On a cold January morning in London, there was an extraordinary silence at the exit of St. Mary's Hospital. Security personnel were waiting in strategic positions, paparazzi had their lenses focused on the hospital entrance from afar, and the world's media was ready to witness the end of an 8-month treatment process. Everyone expected the same thing. Kate Middleton would leave the hospital and head straight to her black Range Rover. Dr. Sarah Matthews, the chief physician who had been following Kate's treatment process, was checking files one last time in the hospital corridor. 8 months ago, when Kate Middleton first came to the hospital, her condition was quite difficult, both physically and emotionally. She had closely observed the dilemma experienced by a mother who received a cancer diagnosis, who was also a member of the royal family, but the Kate she saw today was a completely different person. "You look different today, Your Highness," said Dr. Matthews, approaching Kate. Kate smiled slightly and said, "Today is a new beginning." Her voice was strong and determined, speaking in a tone she hadn't heard in months. Dr. Matthews noticed the sparkle in Kate's eyes. This wasn't just because the treatment was over, there was something else. Prince William was waiting at the end of the corridor. He came to his wife's side and took her hand. "Are you ready?" he asked with a tone that mixed worry and pride. Kate nodded. "More ready than ever," she said. William's eyes filled with tears when he saw his wife in this strong state. He hadn't seen Kate this determined in the last 8 months. As they walked toward the hospital exit, Kate's steps were firm and determined. Beside them were Dr. Matthews, Nurse Jennifer Wilson, and the security team. As they approached the door, the sounds of the crowd outside began to be heard. Journalists, photographers, and curious citizens were eagerly waiting to capture Kate's first image. "Your Highness, the plan is as you know. We're heading straight to the car," said Security Chief Michael Roberts. Kate nodded, but there was a different light in her eyes. William noticed the change in his wife's facial expression. "Kate, is everything all right?" he asked. Kate smiled. "Everything will be perfect," she said. When the door opened, the cold London air met their faces. Kate paused for a moment, took a deep breath, and took her step. At that moment, the waiting crowd fell silent. Everyone held their breath at the first sight of the princess they hadn't seen in months. Kate began to move forward with graceful but strong steps. However, instead of heading straight to the car as everyone expected, Kate suddenly turned left. This unexpected move surprised the security personnel. Michael Roberts immediately spoke into his radio. "Plan changed. The princess is going in a different direction." Dr. Matthews frowned. "Where is she going?" she murmured. The place Kate was heading to was a small park area next to the hospital exit. There was a garden of hope established for children receiving cancer treatment. This garden was a quiet corner created for families in the treatment process to catch their breath a little. Kate had seen this garden many times during her treatment process and had wanted to come here very much. William understood his wife's intention and smiled. "Of course," he said to himself. Kate's action didn't surprise him at all. He knew his wife's nature of always thinking of others. He signaled to the security team. "Follow her," he said. When Kate approached the Garden of Hope, she saw little Emma Thompson there. 7-year-old Emma was sitting on a small bench next to her mother, drawing with colored pencils in her hands. Emma also had traces of the treatment process on her head, just like Kate. When Emma saw Kate, her eyes widened. "Mom, is that the princess?" she whispered. Kate approached Emma and crouched down. "Hello, Emma," she said in a warm voice. "I'm Kate. What are you drawing?" Emma looked at her picture in amazement. "I'm drawing trees. The doctor said I can play in the garden when I get better." Kate smiled. "This is a wonderful picture. I love trees, too." Emma's mother, Sarah Thompson, was shocked when she saw Kate. "Your Highness, I'm so sorry that Emma is bothering you." Kate raised her hand. "No, please. Emma isn't bothering me. On the contrary, meeting her is a great honor for me." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "We followed your struggle. You became a great source of inspiration for Emma." Meanwhile, photographers and journalists were closely following Kate's unexpected move. The lenses were capturing Kate's intimate moment with Emma, but this time there was no paparazzi aggression. Everyone felt the sanctity of this special moment being experienced. Kate bent down to Emma and said, "Emma, do you know you're a very brave girl?" Emma nodded. "You're very brave too. My mom said you were sick too." Kate smiled. "Yes, I was sick too. But now I'm getting better, just like you will get better." Emma's face lit up. "Really?" "Of course," said Kate. "And I know you're very strong too. I can see your strength even in these drawings." Emma looked at her picture. "These trees are like us. In winter their leaves fall off, but they come back in spring." Kate's eyes filled with tears. "Yes, Emma, exactly like that. Sometimes we struggle, but then we come back even stronger." During this conversation, William also approached. When he saw Emma, he smiled and said, "Hello, beautiful princess." Emma giggled. "I'm not a princess. You're the prince." William laughed. "You're right. I'm the prince. But you're as strong as a princess." Dr. Matthews was watching this scene from a distance. Kate's behavior didn't surprise her at all. She knew that during the treatment process, Kate constantly asked about other patients, especially showing special interest in child patients. This is why she's special, she thought. Kate turned to Emma and said, "Emma, I'm going to tell you a secret." Emma approached curiously. "Do you know you're my hero? Because you managed to be so brave at such a young age." Emma's face turned red. "Really?" Kate nodded. "Really. And I'm going to ask you for something." Emma was listening carefully. Kate continued, "When you get better, will you visit me at the palace? We can walk through the gardens and have tea together." Emma's eyes sparkled. "Can I really come?" Kate smiled. "Of course. That's a promise." Sarah Thompson couldn't hold back her tears as she watched this scene. Despite the difficulties her daughter had experienced during the treatment process, she was now talking to a princess and receiving a promise to visit the palace in the future. "This must be a dream," she thought. Kate stood up and turned to Emma's mother. "Sarah, it's no coincidence that such a strong mother has such a brave daughter," she said. Sarah began to cry. "Your Highness, you gave Emma hope. I haven't seen her this happy in recent months." At this time, an elderly man stepped forward from the crowd. This man was Henry Morrison, and he worked as a volunteer at the hospital. When he saw Kate, he approached. "Your Highness, I want to thank you," he said. Kate was surprised. "Why?" Henry smiled. "Even during your treatment, you asked about other patients. The nurses told us, you're not just a princess, you're a wonderful person." Kate humbly bowed her head. "I just did what was right. We were all fighting the same battle." Henry continued, "But you're different. Despite your own difficulties, you thought of others. This gave great hope to children like Emma." William was filled with pride as he watched his wife's intimate moments. He could see that Kate had recovered not only from her illness, but also from the strength of her character. He had closely observed how his wife's inner strength had developed over the past 8 months. Kate turned to Emma one last time and said, "Emma, remember, you're very special, and I will always support you." Emma ran and hugged Kate. This hug brought tears to everyone there. This moment of two warriors supporting each other created an unforgettable image. Kate turned to the crowd after parting from Emma. "Thank you all," she said in a strong voice. "Your support, prayers, and love gave me strength. But I want you to know that real strength is in children like Emma, mothers like Sarah, volunteers like Henry. We are all strong together." These words deeply affected the crowd. Spontaneous applause rose. Kate took William's hand, and they walked toward their car together. As they got in the car, Kate turned back one last time and waved to Emma. Emma was also waving with her little hand. On a warm April afternoon, the gardens of Kensington Palace were sparkling with all the beauty of spring. Kate Middleton was sitting at a small table next to the rose garden, impatiently looking at her watch. Today was a special day. Emma Thompson's palace visit was going to take place. According to the latest news she received from Dr. Matthews, Emma's treatment had been completed with great success. The little girl's latest test results were perfect, and her doctors had declared her completely healthy. Kate was experiencing the excitement of keeping the promise she had made to Emma. A black car stopped at the palace gate. Emma got out of the car with her mother, Sarah. The little girl's hair had started to grow back on her head, and she had a big smile on her face. In her hand, she had a more beautiful version of the tree drawing she had made in the hospital garden that day, as a gift for Kate. "Mom, I'm really going to have tea with the princess," Emma said excitedly. Sarah thought that seeing her daughter's happiness was worth everything they had been through. She knew that Emma hadn't been this cheerful since the hospital days. Kate came out to the garden path to meet Emma. Her eyes filled with tears the moment she saw Emma. The little girl now looked much stronger and healthier. "Emma!" Kate shouted and opened her arms. Emma ran and jumped into Kate's arms. "Your Highness, I came as you promised," Emma said cheerfully. Kate hugged her tightly. "Of course, my beautiful girl. You are my guest today." Emma handed Kate the picture. "I drew you a new picture. This time all the trees have leaves." Kate examined the picture carefully. The trees Emma had drawn were indeed full of green leaves, and underneath were two figures, a princess and a little girl holding hands. "This is magnificent, Emma. I'll hang this in my study," Kate said, with a sparkle of happiness in her eyes. William also joined them in the garden. A big smile appeared on his face when he saw Emma. "Princess Emma, how are you?" he asked in a playful tone. Emma giggled. "I'm very well, Prince William. I'm completely healthy now." Kate took Emma to the most beautiful corner of the garden. There was a small tea table specially prepared for this visit. On the table were Emma's favorite strawberry tarts, colorful cookies, and, of course, special teacups. "Wow!" Emma exclaimed. "This is a real princess tea." Kate laughed. "Yes, and you are my special guest today." Emma sat at the table, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Mom, can we take pictures?" Sarah took photos while trying to hold back her tears. She wanted to keep this moment of her daughter having tea with a princess forever. Kate turned to Emma. "Emma, I have a surprise for you," she said. Emma looked curiously. Kate opened the lid of a small box next to her. Inside was a gold-colored necklace, specially made with Emma's name. "This is for your courage," Kate said. "You are my hero, remember?" Emma's eyes filled with tears. The necklace was very beautiful and had a small tree figure on it. "Is this really for me?" she asked. Kate nodded. "Of course. And every time you wear it, remember how strong you are." Throughout the tea hours, Emma and Kate talked. Emma told about her treatment process, her fears, and her hopes. Kate also shared her own experiences. Two warriors had formed a special bond between them. "Your Highness," Emma said at one point, "thanks to what you told me at the hospital, I never gave up. Like the trees, I came back too." Kate's eyes became teary. "You never left, Emma. You were just resting a little." As the visit was ending, Kate gave Emma an album as a gift. Inside were the photos taken in the hospital garden that day, copies of Emma's drawings, and notes written in Kate's handwriting. "This is the album of our special moment," Kate said. When Emma opened the album, she saw a note Kate had written. "Dear Emma, you taught me the true meaning of hope. Never forget that you are a very special girl. With love, Kate." When it was time to say goodbye, Emma hugged Kate tightly. "Thank you, Princess Kate. I will never forget you," she said. Kate said, "I will never forget you either, my brave girl. And you're always invited to come here." Sarah turned to Kate. "Your Highness, the happiness you gave Emma today is indescribable. You proved that you are not just a princess, but a wonderful person." Kate humbly said, "Emma gave me much more than I took today." As the car was moving, Emma waved to Kate from the window. Kate was also waving to her, with tears of happiness in her eyes. This moment wasn't just about keeping a promise. This was a special moment where two hearts found each other, proving the power of hope and love. That evening, Kate hung Emma's picture on the wall in her study. Every time she looked at the picture, she would remember that encounter in the hospital garden and today's beautiful moments. Emma was no longer just a little patient in Kate's life. She had become a symbol of hope and strength. This story appeared in the press with the headline, "The Princess Who Kept Her Promise." But what mattered most to Kate was Emma's smile and the hope she gave. This wasn't just a palace visit, but a miraculous moment where two souls healed each other,